So Mibladen for sure is the most famous location in Morocco. If we think Morocco, minerals, red vanadinite. The vanadinite location in Mibladen is located in central part of the Morocco, where the star is, near to the town Midelt, on the road going from Fez south to the desert to Sahara to El Rashidia. This area is located between high Atlas mountains, which here on this photo you see them with the snow. The peaks on this photo are up to 3,000 meters. And between the high Atlas and the middle Atlas, which is on our back if we look, if we are situated as at this photo. Here on this picture you can already see the workings in Mibladen. The Mibladen village was constructed by French during the colonial times. The deposit was discovered in 20s, and during the 30s and 40s it was developed, and big company named Mindaulia Mibladen was formed. This company was operating in the Auli Gorge, which is located not far away from Mibladen, and the Mibladen deposit. The Mibladen deposit itself is quite big. It's over 30 kilometers long. As we think about this location, we think, okay, Mibladen, one spot. It's not. Mibladen is about 30, 40 different locations, which some of them produce very distinctive specimens. Other ones are difficult to say from which place exactly they come from. This is the satellite photo of the Mibladen village, which was built by French engineers. As you can see here, there was a special zone for directors and geologists with nice trees, and the zone where miners were living with very simple buildings. Nowadays, when the oil mining is dead in this area, the 70% of houses are not habitated, they fall apart, and there are still some people living there, but it's very depressive look if you go there. And on this photo you can already see the first of one of the quarries, Lizo, which is located just other side of the road from the village, and the workings are going underneath of the village. This is the Mibladen village. It's photo a few years ago with the Cretaceous, the mountain built by Cretaceous deposits, where the gypsum is mined to make some tourist products. This is the entrance to the part of the Mibladen where the quarters for miners were located. And this is how streets looks there today. It's not very fancy place to live. Many of the houses are falling apart. There is no roofs. This is one of the houses where miners live. You can see some specimens laying all around. And vanadinite you can buy in almost every house in Mibladen, because nowadays this is the only source of income for the families, is digging for specimens. Here is one of the dealers, you maybe know him, it's Mohamed Laroussi. His family was a miner's family in Mibladen, now he lives in Midelt. All these photos were taken in the small houses in Mibladen. So let's say a few words about geology of the area. As you can easily see on this map, there are basically three main colors which we use in geology. The green color, these are Cretaceous deposits which form the hill which we've seen which is over the village of Mibladen. Here is the Mibladen village. Here is the middle town located. And this mountain called Ajalab mountain, it's built by Cretaceous deposits. The most interesting for us part is the blue one, which is built by Jurassic sedimentary rocks. It's from both sides, it's cutted by big faults, especially the Auli fault is a huge detachment zone. And north from this fault, there is another geological unit, Ordovician metamorphic rocks, completely different than this what we see in Mibladen. In the same area, in the yellow color, you can see the gypsum deposit. I'm sure you've seen all the products with Moroccans do with the they call it selenite. It's not really selenite, but the gypsum like hearts, balls, etc. This gypsum is mined here. In the red color and orange color on the map is marked where are the main parts of the deposit in Mibladen located. The red color is showing, because there are two zones with mineralization. Red color is first one of them and orange color is the second one of them. As you can see, the main locations and main cores are many. Some of them are marked here, but you will see more of them further photos. This is the cross section of the area. It's super simplified. The green color is the bigger mountain built by Cretaceous deposits. This is all Jurassic limestones and marls, and there are two horizons with mineralization, which you have seen there. This one was marked in red color, this one in orange. And there is big detachment zone, which is a contact of the Oran Meseta, the completely different geological unit, which is built by Cambrian and Ordovician rocks, also with mineralization, but with very different characteristics. Mineralization in Mibladen is following the beds, it's stratiform, it's following the syncline, which is here in the sedimentary rocks. Then the mineralization in Avli area is developed on the big faults. It's completely different. There are some sulfides, galena, not very nice specimens, but it's located nearby. This is why the French company mined both places at the same time. It was one company. So these are photos from the highest hill in the area. You can see Mibladen village, and quarries are starting here. It's called Lizabe, and going to the middle city. It's about 30 kilometers. And there is a close-up of only this area. You can see how many different workings are located here. All of them got names. Some of them produce very fine specimens. Some of them do not produce anything. We are located here at the Alpine orogen. These are all rocks connected with Alpine orogen. Then here it's a big fault, the Auli fault, well visible on the lower photo. And you can see the rocks behind it got very different color, and morphology of the area is different. So here we got the Jurassic limestones, and here are metamorphic Ordovician and Cambrian rocks. Far away on this photo you can see the hills, which are built by Triassic volcanic series, and very famous agates from Auli are coming from these rocks there. But we will concentrate mostly in the workings in this area, because this is from where the nicest specimens are coming from. One more photo of the area. Here is the village of Mibladen, workings Lizo and Lizest, and Oran Meseta, the other geological unit, which is cutted by fault, which is located here, very well visible if you are there. So we will start our trip. We'll visit all major locations. We'll go from the southwest to the northeast. We start with Bulmaden. These are the first locations which were discovered for vanadinites in the area. Now they are pretty much abandoned. There is not many people digging there. This is how the area looks like. There's many rat holes. At the beginning, this is from where most of the vanadinite was coming from. These specimens, a lot of them are easy to distinguish. Usually the crystals are thick, sometimes they are quite big, and they grow directly on the limestone matrix. There is never a barite or other associated minerals. These are very typical specimens for Bulmaden area. On many of the pieces you see the small manganese dendrites. This is very, very typical for Bulmaden. Some of the crystals found here were really giant. There are crystals known up to 10 centimeters. They were not like single hexagonal crystals, but complex parallel growing crystals, but they were really impressive. This is typical specimen from Bulmaden. At the time, these were the world's best vanadinites. After other locations were discovered in the area, they became just stuff. This is very typical specimen for Bulmaden with parallel grow elongated. This is a single crystal, about 7 centimeter. We will move now to the Adrual. This is the area which was also never mined for industrial purposes. Adrual is the name of the stream, which periodically shows here. And there is a bunch of workings for very low quality vanadinite, but very nice Wulfenites are found here in this area. This is Adrual stream. And here you can see some of the old workings, which mostly are collapsed now. And Adrual is producing one of the best Wulfenites in the area. They are easy to distinguish with other Wulfenites which are coming from Lidl because they are always on kind of weathered, ugly matrix. There is never cerussite with them or other associated nice minerals like from other locations. Although the crystals sometimes are very high quality, quite big, up to 3 centimeters, with great red or orange color. This is example of the very nice specimen we got there, and the same specimen is trimmed here. This is very typical Adrual Wulfenite on weathered matrix with some weathered barite. And this is the different habit of the Wulfenite, which is occurring there with the more sharp, more regular crystals with nice luster, but again growing with the pure limestone, no associated minerals. Moving further, we go to Kudiye Workings. Kudiye Workings are 2 kilometers long. They are cutted by 2 faults, and this area is the source of the world's best vanadinites. It was never mined for industrial purposes, and in 2000, very late, local people start to dig there. This is the view from Kudiye. Here you see the high atlas on the back. When they start to dig in the area, in 2001, they found of the vanadinite pocket, which for some of the collectors is known as the best vanadinite pocket ever, or for sure one of the best. It was a huge pocket which produced few thousands of specimens. They were very easy to distinguish because they got black manganese oxide coating on the barite with big 2-3 centimeter big vanadinite crystals growing on them. This created like vanadinite fever. There were few thousand people which came there and start to dig like crazy. It's created really the craziness. So starting with small hole, now there is hundreds of holes, rat holes, going for 2 kilometers, and area is very heavily mined only for vanadinites. You can see all these holes are the shafts, which are few meters deep. From this shaft there are tunnels following the mineralization zone. You can also see the small houses which miners build to stay there for the mining period. These are the drone photos of the area. I think, Brian, if we can have a video, please. This is a drone video which give you a little bit of the idea how the area looks like. There are literally thousands and thousands of the rat holes. Nowadays there is about 50 to 100 people digging. Of course, if someone finds a big pocket, suddenly 200, 300 people show up. They dig 1 week, 1 month, they find nothing, so they gave up, and again someone hit the pocket, they work again. This is how the Kudiye area looks like. Here you see there is Mibladen village far away, and here are the industrial workings on the back. These videos were made by my wife, Joanna, and she's author also of most of the good photos. The ugly photos are usually mine. So this is how the area looks on the ground. These are the miners' houses, which are built with the local limestone. And this is the system what they use to go down. These shafts are between 2 to 8 meters deep, and they are mining about 3 meters of the limestones where the pockets show up. Of course, during the diggings, they find hundreds of pockets with vanadinite and mostly white barite, which is low quality, which is sold as a wholesale material to the local market. This, what you can see, what Moroccans are selling in boxes on every show. This makes these people money enough to live. These are the money what they need to pay for fuel, for food, to buy the equipment. This is generally how these small mines looks like. Every mine is operated by groups, 3 to 5 people usually. Some of them are digging on the front, some are working to take the stuff out. So usually 3-5 people can fit in these mines. These groups, there are 2 types of groups. One type are independent miners who got enough money to pay for the equipment, and other type of groups are the ones which are sponsored by some dealers. And of course, these ones which are sponsored by dealers, the dealers got the first right to buy the stuff which is found. This is how building the shaft starts. So using super simple tools, these guys are going in the hard limestones up to 8, even 10 meters deep. To go down, this is the most fancy system you can have there. In fact, only one guy got so sophisticated ladders to go down. This is me going down to the workings, and the tunnels themselves are super small. You have to crawl in them. So to work there, it's very difficult because you cannot use a big equipment. You use just hammer and chisel, and there is no space really to use them. This is how typically vanadinite looks like. Small crystals, low quality, these kind of pockets, there is plenty. If you go to one of these workings, every working there's plenty and plenty pockets like that. This stuff like this quality, it's even not mined by them. Usually they leave it because it's too low quality. This is a little bit better quality pocket with some bigger vanadinite crystals. All this is from my different visits among the years, about 20 years, to this area. So this is typical stuff which is found every day. Once in a while, they are finding pockets with high quality specimens. This is how the typically pockets looks like. They are flat, elongated, discoidal shape, as I said, mostly just with barite. Some of these pockets are quite big, but usually they are half a meter, 1 meter big. Every pocket like that produces a few hundred specimens. All this is, let's say, lower end quality material, which is sold wholesale to the market. These photos made by my wife Joanna, these are the only known professional photos taken of the high quality pocket. Probably on these photos you will not think this is high quality vanadinite, but then I will show you the same specimens after trimming and washing. So this is when pocket was opened and slowly worked out. I was lucky to get possibility to dig myself many of the specimens. You can see that color and shapes of the vanadinite vary inside of the pocket. Here is more red, here is more orange. In some places crystals are growing on the barite. In some places there are small size crystals. Here, for example, it's a mass of the big size crystals. All these photos is one pocket during a progress of mining it. It was about 70 centimeters deep. This is a coin, Moroccan coin. This is about 30 centimeters, maybe 40 centimeters opening. On the top, the quality was just amazing. On the bottom, crystals were small and brown. So these are some of the specimens which were freshly mined, photos taken still underground. This crystal is like 5 centimeters big. All these things are coming from that pocket. And it's very difficult to mine the specimens in so narrow tunnel because you've got no space really to operate. This pocket produced about 50 high-quality specimens. What we call high-quality vanadinite. There's plenty of vanadinite with big crystals. But very rarely you find a really red vanadinite with even color on all faces, and more rarely you find it with the good luster. Usually if you look on vanadinite specimens, the luster is just on the prism faces and pinacoid faces are dull or opposite. These specimens got a great luster on all of the faces of the crystals. These kind of pockets are really rare. This specimen went to Steve Neely collection, and it's for sale at this show. I've seen it in Collector's Edge booth. It's trimmed a little bit. But if you will go probably to the main show or here 2 floors up, you can see the same specimen after it was cleaned and trimmed. You can see it in person. This is a piece which I kept from this pocket for our collection. These are some of the crystals. This crystal is like 5 centimeters. It was translucent. And here are the first time shown in the public photos of the pocket found in 2005. In my opinion, it was the best vanadinite pocket ever found on Earth. This pocket was found by local diggers. It produced a lot of specimens, including about 20-30 pieces, which are just outstanding. These are big cabinet-sized specimens up to 30 centimeters, with big crystals up to 3 centimeters, with incredible color. This pocket was bought by Fine Minerals International, and I think all of the good pieces were already sold, but still in Daniel booth you can see some of them. Underground do not look so exciting on photos, but believe me, if you see in person pocket like that, it's just amazing. These are photos of some specimens. All of them are big, like 15 centimeters, 20 centimeters. I don't know why these photos are so small, sorry for that. And they got great luster, great color, and they are on the snowy white barite. This is what every collector looks for. Now let's talk a little bit about the normal vanadinite from there. This is how typical specimens from Kudiye looks like. Barite with smaller vanadinite crystals, brownish color, like this one, not so much luster. This is typical good quality from there. This specimen is the best known miniature from there. It's really incredible quality. It was in our collection and it was sold to Jim and Gail Span collection. They got it now. It's really very beautiful piece. There was one find in the 20 years of mining in the area when vanadinite was found on the Motramite. Only once specimens like that were found, one small pocket, also in the Kudiye area. The black small crystals here, this is Motramite. Vanadinite itself wasn't so impressive, but the color combination was really, really nice. These are all photos from this small find. So this is again piece from this original find in 2001 of this great pocket. This piece is like 12 centimeters. So what's typical for the Kudiye, in many pockets you find manganese oxides coating the barite, and it's overgrown by vanadinite and small aragonite balls. Comparing with other places, which I will show you soon, the Asif mine, in Asif you never find the manganese oxides. So if you got a specimen and there is a barite with manganese oxide, it's coming from the Kudiye Workings. This is extreme example of the manganese oxides. These are the stalactitic forms built by some coronadite or other manganese oxides overgrown by vanadinite. This pocket was bought by Unique Minerals, and last year I think they got specimens for sale here. This is like 15 centimeter specimen. All this what I'm showing you now, this is from Kudiye. This is one of the most crazy specimens. I'm lucky to have it in my collection. This is a gastropod, Jurassic gastropod, which is naturally weathered, overgrown by gypsum, small vanadinite and barite. Okay, we move now from Kudiye, we were here. We moved to Lidl Workings. Lidl was the area, we moved first to Asif. Asif was the only deep shaft in the area. Here was a shaft and here was the decline going to the shaft. These are the leftovers of the decline. Not much left. The mining was officially closed in 70s here, and after that everything rotten, fall apart, and just people are digging for specimens. This is the miner going to the decline in Asif, and this is how the shaft looked like. Now it's a hole hole in the ground. This hole is 80 meters deep. They use ropes. With these ropes, they go like 40 meters, and there are this is going down. I never did it in my life. I'm not sure if I will do that. And then in this vertical shaft, they dig narrow tunnels. All this is vanadinite, what you can see in the ceiling. When they crawl for like 50 meters to collect the vanadinite. And this area is super rich in vanadinite. This is, you probably seen in last years, there is many specimens with big thick crystal, brownish color, chocolate color. We call them, some of them, dark Coca-Cola color. This is typical material from Asif mine. These are the only known photos underground. I asked the miners, I gave them camera to take some photos, how the pockets looks like in situ. This is very typical quality which you see from Asif. This is a very gentle system to remove the vanadinite using a steel bar putting in the middle of the pocket. So this area is very rich. The quality is not so good, but there are thousands and thousands of specimens. Just is extremely difficult and dangerous to work there. This is typical Asif vanadinite, thick, stubby crystals with well-developed prism, sometimes very big, sometimes like 1.5 inch, 4 centimeters even, usually between 2 and 3 centimeters, brown color or brownish red color. These are pieces from different finds in Asif mine. Usually there is no barite, just the limestone, a little bit similar like Mibladen. It's my friend from Poland, Piotr Menducki. Rarely you will find there specimens with the good color and good luster, but they are not so common like the ones from Kudiye. Here it was very unusual find with 2-generation grow of vanadinite, kind of scepter grow. First generation was greenish brownish, overgrown by dark brown reddish second generation. This is one of the best specimens I know of found in Asif mine. Maybe you cannot see that on this photo. It was done freshly after mining, but it's really spectacular. There is many big specimens which were collected there. Usually they're kind of druzy vanadinite with clusters with one crystal next to another. This is very typical Asif specimen. So talking about vanadinite in the area, there is many different vanadinite forms. This is what I will tell you now apply to all of the locations. We got the simple forms with hexagonal prism and pinacoid, very simple hexagonal forms. But also very common are the complex parallel grow elongated crystal with some melted looks. Some specimens like this one. Some of these crystals are really big. This, for example, is one crystal with parallel growth. This is specimen which is owned by Rob Lavinsky. I don't remember the size exactly, but it's like 15 centimeters. This piece I got like half a year ago. Very unusual, parallelly growing vanadinite, like pseudo-stalactitic form. All kind of weird forms with parallel growth. And this, as far, is the biggest known crystal, as far as I know. If I well remember, is 10 centimeters big or 11 centimeters. At the time when it was photographed, it was owned by Wayne Thompson. It's a single crystal. It's really huge. It's complete, both sides. Sometimes you find very odd vanadinite forms. Like here, you can see there are some elongated prismatic forms. These are microphotographs of the scepters. There were also found the vanadinites in the hair-looking like habit, like aukenite. Unfortunately, I don't have a photos, but there is many different forms of vanadinite, many different habits. Okay, now we move to Lidal. Lidal, in our travel through the Mibladen locations, is the first place where the big mining operation was done. This is the Lidal area. Here you can see the mineralized horizon on this small hill. And this is how the area looks like now. There was many adits. Now most of them are buried under the dumps and material which is just weathering, but still there is possibility to go underground. There is a group of miners which are half living there underground. They've got a kitchen, they've got a bed there. They are cooking underground. They use very simple tools, these kind of carbide lamps, which are used in Europe, 100 years ago. And digging there is, at the beginning it was easy. When the mine just abandoned the area, there was plenty of pockets. But now everything what was easy to reach was mined out. So they are digging in the security pillars, like here. We are inside of the security pillars, so this do not bring much security, of course. You can see the barite veins everywhere. This is typical mineralization in Lidal. This is the mineralization which was mined by the company. You see the galena, which is overgrown by barite, and sometimes in the central parts of these veins, the pockets are opening, then you got the barite crystals, and on barite sometimes cerussite and wulfenite is growing. So this is the primary mineralization in the area. From weathering of this mineralization, in the upper horizons, the vanadinite mineralization formed. These are typical pocket zones in Lidal, and it looks very similar in other mining diggings in the area. This is like 1 meter wide area with barite coated by some iron oxides with super ugly galena, which is weathering. From the decomposition, the galena, cerussite is growing. These are cerussite crystals with some barite. These are the places where you work now. The very narrow tunnels which are following the veins. And this is the most typical mineral specimens coming from Lidal and the nearby workings which are known as Tuist. You've probably seen many of the pieces like that with colorless twinned cerussite, very complex crystals with barite. It's very UV fluorescent. This is very typical specimen. It's nice piece, like 7 centimeters. It's twinned cerussite crystal sitting on the barite, and this is the same specimen in the UV light. These blue spots glowing, this is a dust. Just some dust from not washed specimen. Here you can see very nice twinning in the cerussite crystal. These are microphotographs. So the cerussite is growing from the decomposition of the galena and is one of the latest minerals in the sequence. There are some weird forms, elongated crystals. The biggest known cerussites, which were pseudo-octahedral shape, they look like octahedrons, but of course they are not. They were up to the fist size. This piece is like 8 centimeters, I believe. So some of the crystals were like, you know, 1 kilo, because cerussite is super heavy. Here is the very rare example of the cerussite which is overgrown by Wulfenite. These are small Wulfenite crystals, and this is one of the best pieces which I know of. You've got cerussite, barite, and Wulfenite. Usually they almost never occur together, Wulfenite with cerussite. I don't know why really, but this is really very rarely they show up in the pocket together. So beside of cerussite, in some of the pockets you can find very fine Wulfenite. The crystals are different than I showed you before in Adrual. They are more complex. Usually they are groups of crystals with parallelly growing, very fragile but with great orange color. Many of them are fake. If you buy them, be very careful, because the Moroccans love to glue these crystals on the matrix. When you are working there, they are barely attached. You use hammer and chisel and they are just popping out. So someone is collecting these crystals, and why not to make nicer composition than nature did? These are typical Wulfenites from the area. So now I will show you how the Wulfenite occurs in situ. This is one of the local miners, Morad. He's a teacher in the school, but he's also is the miner. He's digging here for the Wulfenite's pockets. It's one of the more experienced miners here. Here you see the freshly opened Wulfenite pocket. This is that specimen. This photo is the best quality possible Wulfenite in red-orange color. So this is that specimen after trimming. These colors on the slides, they are kind of weird bluish. In person, this is like red-orange color. So we were here in Lidal. Now we will move to farther to the Lizo. All these other workings which you see on the map, they also produce specimens, but usually they are not so exciting. So here are the Lizo workings. They are very unusual. These are like underground chambers. You see there's like 15 or 17 underground entrances. This is the Mibladen village, so they were digging under the village. And these openings are leading to the mine underground. But first, I will show you the video of the area. This video, we made speed a little bit up, so don't be surprised people are walking so fast. So it's not so boring. But these are the openings of the Lizo mine, and here is the Mibladen village. These are the Cretaceous hills where the gypsum is mined, and here is a storage for the explosives. This is the Lizo, Mibladen. And this is the view to the old big mines, where is Lidal, Kudiye, and you can see High Atlas in the back. These were ore chutes. These were places where you can drop the ore to the big trucks which were coming below. This place is very interesting to visit. It's a huge underground operation with the big holes. So this is how it looks underground. It's really big, open space, and again, mineralization left only in security pillars. So you can easily guess where are they digging now. This is a few photos showing you general situation. In every of these pillars in the middle, there is a mineralization. So these holes, what you see here, these are the pockets which were mined. Some of these pillars looks like were really heavily mined, not much of them left, but you can see barite with galena here. And this is the typical specimen from Lizo. There are kind of snowflakes of cerussite, a little bit reminding the Tsumeb ones, never such quality, but if you have nice snowflake shape twinned cerussite, it's coming from Lizo. So now a little bit different story. When we were running the Mindat trip a few years ago for 120 people in Morocco, we decided to make a surprise. We told them there will be a crazy party, but we'll not tell you where. We told them bring a lot of, clothes, it will be cold, so we will drive 1 hour, so everyone was thinking, we go to High Atlas. In fact, we were driving from Middle 10 minutes, and we made party underground in the Lizo mine. We moved many tons of the stuff to make it secure and safe. We put a red carpet in the mine. We made high quality service, well-dressed waitresses, tables with food, and everything is underground. Here is a pocket. This is our group. There was live music underground. There was waitress dancing with tea, traditional Moroccan tea. It was really interesting experience. The local people I was doing that with, they said it was the most crazy thing they ever did in their life. But if you go there now, you can still enter with car underground. It's so flat. So now the other video. This is almost the last thing I would like to show you. Long time ago, we were thinking to make long movie about the Morocco. And this is the Mibladen section, which we made, but it was never released to the public. So in this video, you can see the mining in the area. These are the workings in Lidl when the cerussite is mined. It is done by Grzegorz Bijak, my friend from Poland, from Spirifer Geological Society. This is how tunnels in Lidl looks like. Pockets with barite. You can see gray galena, white barite. Some small cerussites. And this, what you will see now, it's of course fake. The specimen he will find, we brought it there. It was washed. And these are the pockets where the cerussite is found in Lidl. This is some small pocket with Wulfenite together with barite. This is the decline of the Asif shaft. And this is how the area looks like. These are all Kudiye Workings. These are these workings which I showed you, the drone footage. And we'll go actually underground. This is how you work there. There is not much space really for the bigger tools, and the rock is very compact. It's not so hard, but it's compact. Typical vanadinite pocket in Kudiye barite, black manganese oxides, and vanadinite. And this is how 99% of the stuff looks like, what they collect there. This would make them, money for living. And a few shots in the village showing the local dealers are offering some stuff found freshly in the pockets. This is good quality vanadinite, but small crystals, but very good color. And these are typical Kudiye specimens with white barite and red vanadinite. This is quite a big specimen, like 30 centimeter. So at the end, if some of you would like to find out more technical informations, there was an article published in Mineralogical Record about Mibladen a few years ago. I don't remember the year, but you can easily find it there. And there is most of the information about the find. Thank you very much.